I sometimes feel a little bit ashamed about where I'm at and the fact that I have to work all these jobs and put in all this time into some things that are not related to my business and my art practice, but at the same time, Hi everybody, my name's Kelsey. Welcome to my channel, Kelsey Creating, where I talk all things art business, spirituality, lifestyle, and so much more. Today I want to give you a really raw and unedited version of what my life actually looks like as a young artist and graphic designer. I feel like whenever you get behind the camera, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, or even just meeting someone in real life, it's very tempting to come across like you have everything together, everything's super perfect, going exactly the way you want it. And while it is very valuable to fake it till you make it, and I am a big believer in manifestation, there's also levels to it, and I think there's a lot of peace in authenticity and accepting the moment as the moment is. So with that in mind, I do work 3 different jobs. Number 1, sell my art. So I do originals, prints, stickers, journals, tote bags, and cups. That's a lot of things. I second am an in-house graphic designer for a fashion brand. And I thirdly do machinery at a steel business, which I know one of those does not fit in with the others, which is where the unedited version of myself comes into play. So with all of those things, and also balancing, working out, which is really important to me, and just being like a normal 25-year-old having fun out here, it's definitely been very busy for me, and it can be a little bit chaotic, but at the same time I wouldn't change where I'm at right now. I want to be somewhere different in the future, but I'm working towards that, and in a sense that's the point of having all these jobs and taking in all these responsibilities, so that I set myself up for success for where I want to go. So without further ado, let me show you what a week in my life looks like with all these responsibilities on my plate. Recently, I've really been putting the business in art business. So whether it's posting on socials, making inventory, shipping orders, counting inventory, packing up for art shows, etc., it's really just been very business focused and much less art focused, which has definitely made me sad at times, because that's kind of like the romantic part of wanting to sell your art, is having time to create it and then, selling after you've given that time to create it. But I also know that this is just that season of my life that I'm in. Summers are always a very important market season if that is something you do, selling your art in person. And I've spent, something like from November to April really creating and building up a portfolio of work. So I know this is just a different time, and I'm happy to embrace it. It's very rewarding to go out to markets. Even though it's hit or miss, the misses will still be hits in a sense of, someone will walk up and really like my stuff and compliment me, and that it's very rewarding in that way. And sometimes too, especially on my Thursday farmers markets, I will actually post up and draw or make one of my handmade goods in real time. So not only am I getting in my lost creative time and really just being efficient with my time, I'm also showing my customers in real time, hey, I do this, I make everything's handmade, and I'm the fine artist behind the work. I feel like there's so much typography on my table that it sometimes looks like I'm just a graphic designer and I do everything digitally, which is not the case for me. So it's kind of a win-win to sit there and draw at the markets that I can do that at. So that's really been my life recently. Lots of markets, lots of moving parts, packing my stuff up, driving around my clown car, you name it. It's pretty business focused right now. On the design front, I am a graphic designer for a brand called Parodies. Parodies is a fashion brand who sells transformative clothing that can be worn in multiple ways. I have had the opportunity to actually work with the brand in person, although I am remote now. Back in the day, right when I was fresh out of college, this is 2 years ago, I'm acting like I'm like way older than I am, but something like 2 years ago, I was fresh out of college and I got my job at Parodies, where I was the graphic designer. I was also the store manager, a model, social media manager, etc. And that in-store experience really has been super valuable for me working remotely. Because the clothes transform, it's a lot more challenging to communicate what we do, because we're not just a fashion brand that needs the website to look pretty. We also need it to explain like what to do with your clothing when you get it. So having that prior experience with this brand has really made my remote experience a lot more smooth and easy. I also only work this job about like 10 hours a week, and I do digital design, like things for emails and for the website, and I had done that stuff for her before, so it's been a pretty easy transition into this job. I didn't really have any crazy onboarding process, and it's minimal hours, so it's a nice extra flow of cash, and it's also really nice that I'm keeping the wheels turning in the direction of having my art or design practice be, my full thing one day. So I'm really happy about this and my portfolio building that I'm getting out of it. And it's not too much time either, which is exactly what I need right now. My third job is not one I just stumbled upon and randomly brought into my life. My family has actually owned a steel factory for 50 to 60 years, so my uncle was like, we really need help back here. I'd really love for you to come. You're capable, you can do it, whatever. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And it's pretty straightforward. I just have to make sure that the cutting tools are pretty sharp and change out the parts to be cut every time that the machine is done working on it. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for my part to get done, I'll go for mini walks around the shop. I will listen to music, watch YouTube videos, and I even lift my 12-pound weights that we have there, which is super time efficient to get my workout in for the day on those days that I can do it. And I really like working here for now. I really value being secure, always bringing money in, and also funding my art business. It can definitely be kind of expensive to have, a bunch of inventory that you're making all the time and buy your, printer ink and all that stuff. So I definitely see my two other jobs as a means not only to fund my art business, but also to just keep money coming in. Mac Miller has a line where he says, the more money you make, basically, the less you wait. And I've always really resonated with that. And I really value bringing in money, like as often, as much as possible, and saving up. So in the future, I'm a bit more comfortable, especially when I have adult expenses coming in. Like, I won't be on my dad's health insurance anymore. And, I might want to buy a house one day. And I do want to have kids. And there's all these things I want to do in life. So I'm not such a hustler that I can never rest and can never have fun, but I definitely value bringing in money all the time. And along the lines of having fun, my fourth job is making sure that through all these jobs, I just stay sane and have a happy, fulfilling social life and personal life, and I take care of myself, all of that stuff. That's we shouldn't call it a job because that's the fun stuff, but I definitely could call it a job with everything that I do, because it's very easy at the end of my work days to want to sit there and just like look at my phone and like not do anything cool and like, just bed rot. But it fulfills me so much more to get out in the world, do some cool stuff, and, keep the wheels turning in a personal way too. So that's about it for what my life is looking like recently. I sometimes feel a little bit ashamed about where I'm at and the fact that I have to work all these jobs and put in all this time into some things that are not related to my business and my art practice. But at the same time, I've always really valued having multiple income streams and, you know, having almost like a buffer for whenever one is, you know, you have a little bit less hours for that one, or if you're serving, for instance, you make a little bit less money one day, you know, other jobs will kind of like be brought up while others are slow. So I like having that, and I also do just like having various things to do. It keeps life interesting and fun. And I also know too that art businesses and businesses in general, really, like scratch the art part, take a lot of time to really be solid in the ground, you know, there for you, steady, and just, you know, your main thing. So I definitely feel encouraged by that fact at times, that I know it just takes time. So I have to remind myself to have patience and trust in the universe, trust in the process, trust in my divinely guided path. So that's where I'm at right now. If you made it here, all the way here to the end of the video, please like down below. Please also subscribe as well. And whether I keep you or not, I hope you have a peaceful rest of your night, week, and life. Bye.